What's up, guys? MGN Movie Gamer News here. Today, we're going to be doing the Sonic movie to be spoiled for you now. Everything about this film, from start to finish, the first act of the movie, starting off with Shadow breaking out of Prison Island, and freaking, or Prison Island, whatever it's called. Everything of that, the fight scenes, him attacking the gun agents, to him going and escaping it, and the freaking you find his way into Tokyo, and I know that already. Not to find his way into Tokyo, and then to not find any peace with not find any peace. Him not being able to like escape the gun agents, him saying like, "Why won't you leave me alone?" This and that, but the fight scenes are perfect in this movie. Sonic and Knuckles and Tails, of course, being them and, working with Gun, that's cool. Doing, jumping out of the helicopter, that was also cool. Then we get to the part where they all fight Shadow, and they all lose. Shadow ends up, cooking all of them. And basically, after that, that's when we get his motorcycle scene, and then he gets to grab his gun, which of course is not an actual gun. It's a gun that's for a PG movie, and it's one of the weapons that the gun uses. It's one of the pistols that gun uses in the game, because the pistols that they use. But the race scenes that they have, it's not a race scene. The scene that they where Sonic and Shadow are like racing one another, it's really cool. Honestly, it's really cool. Because we got to see Shadow do the Akira slide, and he ended up just, whooping Sonic's, butt in that fight scene. But he used handcuffs on him. And that was cool. And then, but it's made out of titanium, so like he couldn't break out of it because Tails made it. And then next thing you know, it's really good. It's really good. The first act, then they're like, oh my god, we gotta go to a hideout, and there's no one they can really trust, and then like they gotta find a place to talk with General Aid, with Aid Walker basically. And he basically, they all meet up at the Chow Garden, which is a thing in Sonic Adventure 2 as well, and I thought that was cool. It's like a little famous spot in Tokyo in the movie, and they do the reference saying like, "Are you Detective Pikachu?" They ask Tails that, and Sonic's like, "Yes, he is," and Knuckles is like, "He does look like a Pokemon. Pika Pika is what they say." But it was really funny to hear that. So the fact that they referenced it and they like mentioned it, it's like it's canon in their universe, so it's really funny. But then they have this. Then they get attacked by a bunch of egg robots, which is, of course, you would know if you've seen the movies. You know that it's Dr. Eggman's little flying eggs that he has in the first movie, going into the second, and then coming into this one again. Now this time, he's not in control of it because he lost all the access to the robots that he had. But overall, Agent Stone comes to save them. Then they have a little like race and chasing him, and then Sonic makes a Tokyo Drift reference, and that was actually pretty funny. But then of course that's where the Konichi What joke comes in from Sonic, and then after that, they end up seeing Dr. Eggman, and they all make their way to team up and find out who's in control of the egg robots. And then they meet Shadow again, and then that's when Eggman comes across his grandfather, Gerald Robotnik. And then we start with the second act of the movie being where, they're gonna infiltrate the gun base in London because that's where the hidden ARC machine is at, or as they called it, the lunar thing, or solar thing. It's something like that. But all I know is that it's basically the ARC, and it's hidden in the water of Gun in London, and it's really cool because you know they end up playing the music of Eggman from I believe it was Sonic Colors, and then Unleashed had that theme as well. But they really did a good job with the music in this one. Then they have them infiltrating Gun's base, and Eggman and Gerald, they both decide to like wear thermal outfits on that have like they're like laser sensitive or something like that, or like no, it's able to they're able to like go like touch the lasers and not like get disintegrated by them. That's when but also before that, when Sonic, Tails, and Knuckles escape the attack from, or escape being tied up in the black hole that Shadow uses on them, they end up escaping it, and that's when they team up with Tom and Maddie, and that's what ends up leading them into London, and that's how they fight the that's how they end up. But the thing is, no. After all of that, Eggman and Gerald breaking in, they have, you know, like I said, they have the thermal outfits to be able to break into the lasers, and then that's when they both have a dance battle, but they dance together, and if you think about it, it's just Jim Carrey dancing with himself, but it's really funny. It is really funny seeing them dance, and then they go to the control room where they have to get the other key that was given to Sonic from before, like at the Chow Garden area in Tokyo from General Aid, because in this movie, yes, he does die, and I was surprised that he died. I did not expect him to die in this one. I was like, really? I was like, they're gonna kill him off now? I was like, but he has a huge important role in the Shadow the Hedgehog games, but given that the movie changed it and made it a little bit different, I'm not too mad with the decision, don't get me wrong. It's a nice decision. It's just, Abe was a kid around the time Maria was on Earth. So, not Earth, in the Ark in the games. But in the movie it's different, because in the movies he's older, and it just makes sense that they made him a little bit younger than what they originally had it as. But, no, it was cool. It's cool what they did with it. That big time. But yeah, no, after that they end up infiltrating Gun. They use Tom and Maddie end up using a technology thing, or like a little camouflage little techno thing that Tails made, and they end up disguising themselves as like members that they've known, and it was funny. Overall, it was just really funny to see that scene. And then that's when Shadow comes in, because Tom ends up getting the chips that they need. And Shadow ends up seeing Tom. And Shadow ends up punching Tom, mistaking him for Abe, for Abe's gun. But we all thought that Tom died. I personally thought that Tom was gonna die, but thankfully he didn't. And then that's when we lead into our final act of the movie. As we get into our final act, basically, it does end up having Eggman, Gerald, Robotnik, and Shadow going in the Ark, and they are getting ready to destroy the Earth. And then basically, Sonic is like enraged. He has all the anger going on inside of him right now, and then he's asking Knuckles, where is the Master Emerald? And he told him, he said they swore, they made an oath that they wouldn't use it for anything bad. And because they were like, okay, since I trust you, I'll tell you. And then he told them that it was hidden with a warrior, a very strong warrior. And that warrior, of course, was Wade. The one that everyone loves from the the Knuckles show. And of course, he's in the first two movies, so that's pretty cool. But basically, Sonic took it, and it was funny, the way he just snatched it from him. And then after that, he goes super. And then that leads him to directly flying to Shadow, and then freaking wanting to like hurt him. He wants to attack him after what he did to Tom. But overall, he stayed true to himself. After fighting him and carrying him into space and stuff like that, he ended up basically what happened was Shadow and brought Sonic to Earth because he used his his air shoes, and freaking they were fighting. He punches, or I don't even think it's punching, but he knocks out the Chaos Emeralds from Sonic, and after that he ended up they both went for it. They both went to grabbing the Chaos Emeralds, and then after that they both went super. The Shadow went super. Sonic was like, what the heck? Oh, why did I use it now? But yeah, then he's like, oh my god, he's like, why are you super, this and that, and he told him he's like, you're right about one thing, this ends now. Of course, in the trailer, they don't show it that he's super, but in that scene in the trailer, that's him in his super form. And it's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It was really cool to see Shadow in his super form, and then once they get taken to the moon, they end up going to they end up being on the moon, and they talk about like all of their issues and their problems that they're dealing with, and then basically yeah, and he's like, I'm right here, he's like, hit me, I'm right here, this and that, and he punches his heart, and because Tom said something about his like follow your heart in the beginning of the movie, that's what drove Sonic to like listen to his heart and not like let anger take over, and he's like, this isn't me. And because Tom told him, he's like, I want to thank you for staying true to yourself, not letting anything change you, like letting darkness change you and stuff like that. But then he's like, you have a chance to change, you can change, and you don't have to do it for the wrong reasons. And so they both join together to become super, and they play Live and Learn. They play Live and Learn basically, but and it was awesome hearing Live and Learn on the big screen and in the speakers. That was awesome. My god. But then it cuts off to Eggman fighting his grandfather. His grandfather almost killed him. He was gonna kill him actually. He was gonna kill his grandson. I was like, oh my god. But he told him, he said, because they wanted to blow up the Earth, of course. And he's like, what? Because he's like, including us. And Eggman's like, but I have you. It's like, we're together. It's like, I have family now. And he's like, he told him, you are no Maria. I was like, wow. Oh my god. The fact that the fact that Gerald's favorite grandchild was Maria is actually kind of sad. But, because Eggman he basically wanted a family. He got to relive he got to do stuff with Gerald in the movie. It was funny. But, they end up killing Gerald Robotnik in a very funny way that I didn't even think he would die that way, because whatchamacallit, it's just, I had the feeling Jim Carrey thought of the idea. But seeing Gerald Robotnik die like a little fly would get killed in a bug zapper, that was actually really funny. I didn't think they'd kill him, but it was very funny just to see all of that. And honestly, it was just a really good movie. They end up saving the Earth, and Eggman's like, I did it. They accidentally shoot the moon, and they're like, oh! And everyone in the theater, of course, saying he pissed on the moon, given to the fan dub. And I was like, oh my goodness. And then Shadow is called Hot Topic by Sonic, and that was pretty funny as well. But the one thing that I didn't really catch on was like the victory jingle from Generations being played in the beginning when Sonic wins the race against Tails and Knuckles, given that they're holograms or in that scene. That Tails made so they could throw a party for him on Earth. Birthday. But that's like the beginning of the movie. After that, basically, Gerald, they end up, pissing on the moon, of course, and blowing up the moon on accident. They don't mean to, but they do. And it was very funny. But then Eggman does sacrifice himself, and I was like, oh my god. The thing is, you think he dies. I mean, he definitely died. It's just see, knowing that Shadow survived that, that had me thinking, like, if Shadow's alive, then Eggman's definitely alive. Like, there's no way that they're gonna just do Shadow alive. I mean, they have to. He's a huge part of Sonic's history, of course. But if Eggman somehow survived that, it'd be crazy. But if he ends up being like, if he meets Mega Eggman, then that will be something. I feel like that's something they could do. If he entered like a negative realm where he was like really, really evil, that would be something. Then let's see. The post-credit scenes end up they end up doing something that I didn't expect, but I did kind of predict it when I saw before seeing the second movie, because I was thinking like they should probably go with that route and give us Metal Sonic first, but they decided, yeah, let's do that, and they brought Amy and Metal Sonic into the live action, and that was fun. But yeah, no, it was cool. It was really cool to see Amy and Metal Sonic show up in the first mid-credit scene. Then the post-credit scene ends up confirming that Shadow survived everything, and I was like, oh my god. But overall, it was cool. It was really cool. So, like, everything about this movie, it's a definite 10 out of 10. If you're really a Sonic fan and you love the game, then you know you're in for a treat when you're seeing this one. What is going on with this gameplay? But yeah, everything about this film, basically everything about Sonic 3, the action, the story, everything, perfect. They really chose a good director for this movie. And overall, it's just one of those games that end up, it's one of those movies where, you know, they can actually do good with like referencing the games, saving like certain movies for specific references and stuff like that. It's just really good with what they did in this one. I loved everything about this movie. Like I said, all the actors, they do a good job. Every scene is perfect, the music especially, perfect. Everything about this movie is a 10 out of 10 from me, specifically. Because it's just, you know, one of those films where you're like, this is actually really good. And, you know, every post-credit scene doing what they did, you know, the first movie teasing Tails, the second movie giving us Knuckles, and then teasing Shadow, that was awesome. It was planned very well, and honestly, all of it is just perfect. I think, you know, especially like just joking about Keanu Reeves, so then having him voice Shadow, like how could you not think like this is gonna be a good movie? Because I don't know. I think foreshadowing Keanu as Shadow, that's crazy. It's crazy how they foreshadowed it, and it actually happened. Like, how do you actually get it to happen? First thing is Keanu actually, he said in an interview that he never really played the game. He's like, but he did his homework on Shadow to get into the character and get into the role. It's just, I'm just like amazed by it. I'm just like, how do you do it? How do you do it? He brought Shadow to life for me. He really did. Eggman, Jim Carrey, he brings Eggman to life for me as well. Okay, that's not really supposed to happen, but okay. Then, you know, like I said, every actor just does their part. They do a really good job with their role. Everything about these films, perfect. Absolutely perfect for me. Okay. Then you got the Maria scenes, of course. Doing the story like that in the movie, that's something new. Like, it was very different from the games, but I heard a lot of people saying like, "Oh, I didn't like that they kept, showing the origin too much," and I was like, "What do you mean?" I'm like, that's the whole point. Like the whole point is we're not. It's not a Shadow movie. If you think it's not a Shadow movie, so if you think it's gonna just focus on Shadow, you're wrong. It's a Sonic movie, and it's just you'll see anything Sonic related. But it's just they did a good job handling the story for Shadow, his little origin in the movie, him being friends with Maria, um, to him going to actually want revenge and being stuff like that, being trapped for 50 years. It's just done perfectly. They chose the right director for this movie. They got the right cast for this movie, and to get the voice actors for Tails to voice Tails in the movie, that's something that I'd never think would happen. But overall, this movie proved to be a great one. It was the Sonic movies. First of all, the Sonic movie trilogy has proven to be a banger, and just not actually, yeah, it proves to be the best trilogy that we've gotten in this decade for the 2020s. Like out of any video game movie adaptation we've gotten so far, aside from Mario, they do good with Mario movies as well. The first movie did well. It's just I feel like the first movie, I spoke to my friends about it. There's no plot for it at all, but like the whole plot to it is just saving Luigi. That's the whole plot for Mario movie. But the other one, the Detective Pikachu, that was like last decade. That was the ending of last decade, so that's good. But this decade, the other video game movies we've gotten so far, they just haven't done it for me, like Sonic does. Like some of those games I may play, I may not play, but overall, no. Like the Minecraft movie, I don't want to see that movie. I don't want to. But if it's good, then I guess I'll have to check it out. I don't know. I'll think about it. But the Borderlands movie didn't do good at all. But Five Nights at Freddy's movie, that was pretty interesting. But but the Sonic movies, they show the love to the fans, and that's just it. Um, like I said, overall, my review on this movie is a 10 out of 10. Easily a 10 out of 10. And that's just about it. But thank you guys for watching, and peace out.